Hello, my name is Dave Lappin. I'm an expert in using Photoshop, and today in Photoshop Basics we're going to be talking about using filters in Photoshop. And today we're going to use a picture taken from the White Sands Desert in Alamogordo, New Mexico. And we're going to apply different filter effects to this photo to give you an idea of what is available in Photoshop that you can use to create different effects within a photo. And so I'm going to go under Filter on the menu bar. In this case, I'm going down to Artistic, and I'm going to open up Watercolor. And that's going to open up a separate dialog box. And actually, I'm going to make that photo a little smaller so we can see the whole image in the dialog box. As you see, it looks a little dark there, obviously, and so we're going to lighten that up. But as you can see, it gives us a painterly effect, a watercolor effect in this particular case. But again, you can adjust the lightness or the darkness of that image over here. And you can also do that after the fact. But this gives you a little better sense of what that's going to look like. You also have what's called poster edges. Again, there's a lot of different effects that you can use. One's called poster edges. Gives this photo an interesting effect. You also have what's called a cutout. I'm just going to give it kind of a broader look to it. Again, you can adjust the settings up here and get more or less detail in that image, as you can see that I'm doing here, depending on what you're needing. Again, that may not be the best effect that you want to use, but it gives you an idea. Now, here's an interesting one called plastic wrap. If you want to give your photo more of a shiny look, it's like it's been wrapped in plastic, that's one that you could use. Now, again, we have different other effects or filters that we can apply, and they have different categories. We have brush strokes, we have distort, we have sketch, we have silence, we have texture. I'm going to open up the sketch one, and again, this is going to go from one effect to another. It's not really building on one another. But for example, we have what's called a graphic pen, and that gives it kind of an interesting effect. And I kind of lighten it up here, but you have to kind of look what effect obviously is appropriate for the photo that you're wanting to apply an effect to. We have one here, it's called water paper. It's similar to the watercolor effect that we talked about just a few moments ago. And let's see here, let's look at another one that says texture. This is interesting. Here's one called stained glass. Now you can actually change the size of those stained glass pieces to really create an interesting effect. If you want to create a stained glass effect from a photo, this is one of the ways that you can do that. And again, you can enhance the look of that in the way that you want it, just by using in this case, the light intensity, the border thickness, or the cell size. And so anyway, you could create a stained glass effect if you needed to. If you want to create what they call mosaic tiles, you can do that as well. Again, you can adjust the size of those tiles up here. And so again, you have a lot of different effects at your disposal in the filters in Photoshop. If you want to learn more about using Photoshop, then click on the link below in the description box to learn more about using Photoshop Basics. And it's called Photoshop Basics, How to Use Photoshop Like a Pro. Just click on the link below and you can learn more about that course.